statue of David Hasselhoff. Don't ask me why. But I always aim to make it a real experience. And I enjoyed hopefully as much as the audience does. And yes, it really works for me for business development as well. And
yes,
what I love about it is you get so much feedback on all your different themes, because, Lise, must be the same for you, right? You're coming up with a new model. Mm-hmm. And until you sort of presented it and you've gotten some feedback, you don't know if it works or if it only works in your head, right?
Yes. I love it when you come off stage and somebody says to you at the tea break,
yeah,
I didn't know that. And you're like, oh yes, I've taught somebody something new today, and they're really pleased. And the other thing that's worked for me, Nicole, I'm sure it's the same for you, I have just worked with a client on a one-to-one who saw me speak at an event in Dublin almost 12 months ago.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we were working away, and she says, I remember when you said that at the talk at this conference. And I was like, oh, wow, is that where you've come from? So even if you are, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll get booked by somebody that day, but it can be literally a year later that somebody picks up the phone and says, now I'm ready to do the work that you talked about when you were on stage, which is amazing.
It's really surprising, right? So one of my first bigger gigs since becoming a mum had been the Cambridge Social Media Day.
Yes, I'd like to go to that one day.
It's amazing.
She thinks Nicole and I could speak at it.
It's great. And Lenka and her team, they're doing an amazing job. Lenka Kopova, the organizer. But in the inaugural year, so the first year, I can never pronounce it properly. Of course, the guys hitting off the stage were Andrew and Pete. And I was the second speaker after that. So can I just say, Louise, for the record, I had about 6 months worth of sleepless nights. And, it kind of went down again to maybe sort of 3 nights beforehand. But it went really, really well. But boy, was I aware that I took on the stage from Andrew and Pete. And they obviously have a very, very instant sound.
I remember you did that because everyone was raving about it afterwards.
Thank you. I put a lot into it. And it worked really well. But God, I was shaking. I remember the guy doing the techie bits, the microphone, and Lenka had organised a brilliant microphone. But when you're women, it's just not that glamorous getting all microphoned up, right?
Especially when they say, can you put this up the inside of your dress? And you're like, do we have to do that?
I said, what I did then following that? I just helped all the other speakers. We had the amazing Mei King Tsang talking about Twitter and how to use it. So I just went with Mei King to ladies. It's just
I did it there.
She was wearing this gorgeous onesie. So I just helped her because you know what it's like, right? And you just want to help other people. So very cool event. I highly recommend it.
Oh yes, I definitely want to get there. Whenever I was doing my first conference in Belfast, my friend who works for the BBC, she gave me tips. So she had me prepped about having to wear a battery pack and the mic and everything. Yeah. So I had ordered a little thing that you put around your waist.
Brilliant.
I did have a dress on, and I had this thing I could clip around my waist if I wanted to. But one of the best things was getting a dress with pockets.
Absolutely, right.
It all worked out perfectly well. But I loved having with the what I call the Madonna headset, where the thing comes around your mouth.
Oh yeah, so cool.
So cool.
And you obviously speak at various events, and sometimes you actually get a handheld microphone. I always feel like a wedding singer then. Not a good image. I'm much rather, because I'm quite a mobile person. It's like while we're recording this, I really have to try and keep still to not hit my table or anything else, because I just move. So on stage, when you have to hold a microphone, I always feel like, I want to move both hands.
Yes, I'd be quite worried with a mobile microphone that I would just be waving my arms around. Yeah. We're a danger to ourselves and others.
Yes, absolutely. Last gig I had physically was at Atomic and X at Newcastle. And they had chosen such a cool song, and I can't even remember what it was, but I actually was seen walking up and dancing on stage. Awesome. Not sure the sort of mummy dance is what I was really aiming for. What a waste that of a talk. Never mind.
All right, so what I want to ask you, Nicole, actually is about how you approach different social media platforms. So I'm sounding all serious now, we're getting into business stuff.
Ready.
But would you approach how you are on LinkedIn differently to how you are on the other social media platforms?
Yes and no. Yes, in that specific things work on LinkedIn or don't work on LinkedIn so well. Just an example, if I wanted to share one of my blogs on LinkedIn, I would probably either publish it as an article on LinkedIn or publish it as a post and do the silly thing where you go back into the post and you edit the link. It's very, very silly, right?
It's so silly.
Therefore, like on Twitter, it's just so easy to share a blog other than having to adjust the character count.
Yes.
So know in the way that I feel similar principles apply across all the different platforms. In terms of your personal branding, you need to know what you are about. You need to know who your audience is. You need to know how you position yourself better when you competition. And generally, Louise, I always think there's enough cake to go around for everyone. And if we are brave enough to show our personality with what we do on social media, people will come and work with us for our expertise, but also our personality.
Yes.
So I think you absolutely have to make sure that you know what you stand for. Also, what kind of stories are you happy to share? Because generally speaking, I've just come back from social media marketing world in San Diego in March, and one of the big themes was there really that obviously people trust marketeers less and less. So we have to really work hard on building trust. And one great tool is storytelling. And essentially that isn't anything new, right? Great marketing, building dialogue and connection is about storytelling. So for your personal brand, I have this exercise, which I like to call my cupcake stories finder exercise.
Okay.
I ask my clients to really look at what makes them them. What are their stories? What are their experiences to date? Why have they chosen a certain career? What could really relate to their audience? What would be the stories their audience would find interesting? But then also, what stories are they happy to share? Because I never encourage anyone to, the Brits say, air their dirty washing in public. I think it's about being really, really strategic about picking the stories which connect with the audience. And for personal branding, that's a really powerful thing to do, because this is what really makes us unique, our stories. And if you choose them carefully and you tell them in an engaging way, that's your personal brand in essence. Yes. And this, as a principle, applies across all the different platforms, right? Whether you're on Instagram, you're posting a video, or you're on YouTube, or you're on LinkedIn. Now, I know, obviously, how to get things seen, how to drive up engagement. That's particular to each of the platforms. Hence, we got people like you and I who help people be successful in that, right?
Yes.
So I think it's a bit of both. Some things are similar and some things are really specific to the platforms. Let's pick out Instagram. Obviously, on Instagram, you really have to be active around the time of posting. You use 30 hashtags. You have to really do your hashtag research. On LinkedIn, we're talking maybe 2 or 3. And of course, on LinkedIn, you also have to be there, right? I always think it's so horrible when people post something and then they disappear. It's kind of entering a party saying, "Hi, I'm Nicole Osborne." I don't want to know anything you have to say. Bye. Right? You've got to stick around. So can you imagine that? That'd be so rude, right? And you met at a networking event and I shout from across the room when I disappear.
Yes. I know. Imagine taking the time to respond to somebody's post on LinkedIn, and right. they don't even respond to you ever.
I get it. We're all busy, so I always say to my clients, maybe pick one time slot a day and make yourself visible, reach out, comment, don't just lurk. But you've got to do it, right? Even if it's 2 or 3 days later. And I'm not perfect in this, but to aim to not just leave any comment unanswered. I think that's really the polite thing to do.
I absolutely agree. Nicole, tell us a little bit about your Wonder Stars. What is it?
So Wonder Stars is a coaching program which I developed, bringing together my experience in personal branding, how to use social media to make money, and content marketing, essentially.
Okay.
So I meet with my Wonder Stars virtually once a month. They have an hour and a half a strategy session with me. And in the beginning, we really learn what are they about, what are they hoping to achieve, and where they're currently at. And then we develop a monthly plan. And we check in throughout the month. I'm very German like this. So I like to offer additional accountability, because I know what it's like.
That's really good.
Right, we need accountability, right? Yes. Because we speak to someone, we go, yeah, that sounds so good, I'm going to do it. And a week later, when you're getting around to doing it, you're like, I don't know why I agreed to it. I don't know how I'm meant to be doing it. So that's the moment when I then check in with you and I say, hey, Louise, are you stuck? Why are you stuck? Let's work through this.
Yeah, excellent.
So we do that. And the idea is really that small, achievable actions lead to big change. By the way, that's not my line. That's from wonderful Lee Jackson.
I was going to say, that's a fantastic line.
It's a good line, isn't it?
Tell us that again. Small what?
Small, achievable actions lead to big change. So I always view it with my Wonder Stars like a staircase. So in the beginning, I suss out where they are on the staircase, where they want to get to, and then I have a plan in place for getting them there. They don't always know I have a plan, because you use the word strategy, it scares people. So it's all about doing it at their pace and pushing them a little bit when they're ready. So we're aiming for getting speaking gigs, PR gigs, growing the email list, being confident in the delivery of content. I'll give you an example. So last year I started working with a physio. really great guy, but never used social media to promote his business.
Right.
And within a year, I've turned it into someone who uses LinkedIn really confidently, who stands out in a great way, who gets clients via LinkedIn. And
Brilliant.
It's been really important at the current time because suddenly he couldn't go and see his clients in Canary Wharf. He's now built up a network of clients he can help, not worldwide yet, working on that, but online. And it's all through the power of personal branding, because he decided to show what makes him different. He's happy to share his story.
Yeah.
And happy to add value to when he posts on LinkedIn. So it's been really rewarding.
I love that. That's excellent.
Oh, thank you.
And I think that's a really good roundup to finish with. And Nicole, you are going to be my guest on LinkedIn Live.
I can't wait.
On Friday. So everyone who's listening to this, the Friday of the week this comes out, Nicole will be joining me. We would love to hear any questions that you have around this personal branding. And if you want to find out more about, if you're listening to us and going, we don't really know what that means, Louise, come and join us on Friday and we'll dive into this a lot more. And it's going to be really fun. So Nicole, thank you so much. Yes, tell everybody where they can find out more about you.
Oh, thank you. Well, since we are on LinkedIn, come and find me on LinkedIn. It's /Nicole Osborne 1. Or if you wanted to be a bit chattier, come and find me on Instagram, which is @lollipop_social. I would love to connect and help to answer questions. Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Nicole. It's been an absolute treat having you on the show today.
Oh, thank you, Louise. So nice chatting to you. Thank you.
So that was really fun talking to Nicole. I'm amazed I haven't had her on the podcast before. I think I invited her on, we talked about it maybe a year or so ago, and we never got organised in time, which, her being East German of origin, is amazing because she's obviously very organised and efficient. But that was really fun, and I'd love to see you on LinkedIn Live this Friday. As I said last week, what I'll be doing is each week, the plan is have a guest on the podcast on Wednesday, and then have that guest on the live call or the live video on the Friday and be able to ask them and me any of your questions. So please do come along to those and say hello and introduce yourself, because I've now found the ability to pull names and comments up on screen as well, which is excellent. And the other thing is I want to invite you to consider joining the LinkedIn Learners Lab, which is my group program. We meet twice a month for live Q&A, and this week we covered the new statistics on LinkedIn, which apparently, according to LinkedIn, the engagement rate is up 2,000% in the first quarter of this year, because everyone is in their homes, I guess. But also the 8 key fundamentals of what kind of content works well on LinkedIn, as well as then actually going into people's LinkedIn profiles and reviewing their posts, comments, and answering questions about strategy for LinkedIn and posting and all that good stuff. So the LinkedIn Learners Lab, it's the group program. You have 6 modules worth of training. And when I say modules, I mean the first module, which is all about your LinkedIn profile. I think it's got 10 videos in it, which are around 10 to 15 minutes long. So it gives you an idea of the depth of coverage of that group program. So come and check it out go to socialbni.com and click on the LinkedIn Learners Lab at the top of the menu and check it out for yourself. All right, guys, thank you so much. And if you know anybody who would be interested in listening to the podcast, please do share with one other person. And if you could leave a review, that would be amazing. I would be delighted, and it would really help more people to find the podcast. Thanks again, and see you next week.